Welcome to Court Farms. This is our little empire that we're going to start to build up. So you'll see we've got no money. We've got, quite frankly, a lovely Massey Ferguson 5475. And this is our little farm. Now I say little, we've actually got quite a bit of land. So let's have a look where we are on the map. So this is Court Farms, or Court Farms Country Park. And we are situated down here, bottom left, just in this sort of little farmyard here, and we've got quite a bit of land, as I said, around us. Several grass fields. These two are unplanted, I think. Got some sugar beet, we've got some corn, and this was field beans, but it's been harvested. So we've got quite a few little fields that are blank canvases, so we can do what we want. Now, if we just take a look over here, you'll see we've got a bit of a pig setup going on over here. And down this way, we've got an improvised pig shed. So, as you may have guessed, you're going to be doing pigs. Got Maze Plus enabled, got Enhanced Animal System enabled. Those two are all set up to work together. Thank you, Disturbed, for the tutorial. So, first things first today, we are going to take ourselves a bit of a loan. We're going to lease a drill, and we're going to start some seeding. So we're on our way up to the store, and now I have got store deliveries installed, but I thought for the first couple of trips we will experience the map. Now we're set to normal difficulty, 3-day months, because we're running Maze Plus. Everything else is set to we've got Fieldstone off, and I think the rest is left on, and I think that's about it for the settings. Now there's the pub. What we want to be doing is going this way. So the plan today is to get some of the fields drilled. Now I misspoke before. We've got one that was looked like it was empty, but it's actually got grass growing in it. Now we're not going to need a lot of silage. I think the main reason for us doing silage will be to bring in some cash, which leads me on to the next topic of money. So as I said, today we're going to be sticking an indicator on. We're going to be taking out a loan, and that will tide us over for this episode, and possibly the second one as well. Because what I want to do is finish off the Attingham series. That's probably going to finish a little bit sooner than I thought, and then depending on what cash we've got left in there, whether it's just what's in the bank, or whether you, the viewers, decide that we can sell everything and take all of the money, and then we'll transfer it across here and whatever. So that's the plan with cash. So first things first, let's make sure that store deliveries is reset. Go into Cedars would be a start, and let's have a look. Now we haven't really got that much horsepower. I think we've got about 160, so either of these is going to be a bit of a slog, but I'm hoping that the fields are quite flat. So we want something that will do seed and fur, ideally. I think we'll go for the K brand, the S Pro. So that's 120k, so the leasing costs for that are going to be a fair bit, but let's get some money borrowed. Now, because we've got the land, we can borrow against that. So I think we'll go for 75k paid off over 3 years gives us that. Okay, take the loan, thank you very much. So let's lease ourselves the cedar. Where is it? There it is. We can lease that. There we go. 5,500 litres. So we need some seed. What have we got installed? Seed wise, let's have a look. We'll go for Frontier. Why not? We'll get 3 bags of that. And we will get some, go for Nitram. And we'll get 3 bags of that. Now that should be plenty. The other thing we're going to need to do first is buy the soil samples, because we are using precision farming. So then we're going to need lime. So let's find the lime, and we'll get 8 bags of lime. We're going to need to lease a spreader. And I think we're going to go with what we've got that will do it. I think the Breedle with the... that might be alright, actually. Spreading discs, yes. And we'll lease that. So, I will get the Massey onto the Breedle, loaded up with the lime. We'll head back down to the field, purchase all the soil samples, and then we can get cracking with some actual farm work. So I seem to remember seeing one of Oxygendavid's posts, either on his Discord or on Facebook, about how it's not going to be a map for massive machinery, and even this spreader was a bit of a squeeze getting through the gateway, but we are in. So let's go and get ourselves some soil information. There we go. 1,500 quid for that. That is our cornfield. So we'll get that. I'm not going to bother with the pig area for now, but we'll get everything else purchased. And then we know where we stand. There we go. It's a good job that we're not farming to farming the crops to make a profit, really, isn't it? With that swathe of silty clay running through the farm, but never mind. So now we've got all that done, we can lime this field number 19. So I think the plan is that we are going to experiment with the different new crops and tweak Maize Plus to accept those once we get to that point where we're going to be able to feed them. So that is my plan. There's things I want to add in, like sugar beet. I know they take sugar beet cut because I've got a printout of the manual sat in front of my face. So yeah, we know that, so that's okay. So we'll have to add sugar beet, add things like maybe the field beans. Not sure about rye, and what was the other one, linseed. Not sure about that either, but definitely field beans. They can go in as a replacement for soybeans, I guess, maybe. But yeah, that's my plan. So I think this field will be re-drilled with the field beans if we can plant them now. Failing that, it might be canola, I think, or OSR, depending on what you want to call it. So you can see that we're putting down a fair amount of lime, but That is always the case the first time you start with precision farming, I find. And then from then on, we'll just keep it topped up as we need to. But yeah, it's finally here. Which, interestingly, was the title of the first Calmsden episode I did. And yeah, I love that map. So, hoping that this one will be just as good. And from what I can see so far, Oxygendavid has done it again. So fair play to the man. So hoping you're liking it. I thought this is going to be a bit different. There were comments being made on Discord yesterday about, you know, all these Let's Plays are going to be starting and everyone's going to be doing the same thing, starting at the starter farm. And yeah, so my attempt to do something different. Now I think what we're going to have to do is pull into our driveway and back up a little bit onto the main road, which you probably shouldn't do, but needs must. Hopefully we can get into the farm before having a head-on collision with the cement truck, and we'll move on to the next field. So I think what we'll do is we'll lime... Let's have a look at our fields first to decide what to do next. So has that one got anything in it at all? No. I think what we'll do is we'll do field 20, and then we'll get into starting the drilling. So been back to the store to fill up again, and now the map supports, I'm just trying to spin round, the mud mod by, is it Viper? I think. So when I was doing the setup, I had that installed and very quickly realised that I don't want it in the save. So to be fair, they have on ModHub, there is guidelines for once you've started to use it, a couple of the console commands to then be able to disable it and take it out. The reason I wanted it was I think it was FSG had got it on Bally Spring, and he was doing field work and it started to rain and the tractor sunk, and I quite like that level of realism. I like the fact that it does stop you working on a field when it's fiddling it down with rain. But wanting to get into a field when it's weather like this and the tractor being halfway deep in the gateway, yeah, I wasn't going to abide that. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. So it's gone, unfortunately. It would have been a nice addition. I don't know if you can sort of paint over it in areas. Maybe that's a test I could or should have done. But yeah, never mind. It's gone for now at least. So there we go, right at the edge of the map. Get that covered. So the plan for the grass fields at the minute is we will cut them. We'll have to, depending on when it is, we'll borrow some mowers, and it will bale it just for ease of storage, and then that can be a bit of cash income at some point. Now the other thing I've done is I have swapped out the BGA. Learning from Calmsden and how slow the base game ones are, I've swapped out, and no surprises, I've put Disturb's industrial BGA in. So if we do use the BGA, it is going to be that one. Well, it is that one, and therefore things will process at a reasonable speed. I don't think there's any other changes that I have made yet. Now, I'm well aware that issues may arise with the map. You know, you can test these things till the cows come home. But there may still be issues. So, if there is, it's fine. We can update if we need to. And we'll rebuild the save. So far at the minute, it's there's not too much to do. It'll just be the pig area that would need to be redone. But, yeah, apart from that, I'm loving it. You know, it's been a wait, but you know, all good things come to those. What's that? Is that the saying? Good things come to those that wait. I don't know. Either way, it's here. We're on it, and yeah, I'm enjoying it already. So, on this save, it's all about me, at least, trying to do things differently and use different things. So we have got VCA installed. It's a vehicle control add-on, which is what we're running on at the minute. I have got GPS as well, as the intention was initially, and I've changed my mind within 5 minutes of starting the series. Oh, hello. That we were going to use Proceed. Now, I use that on the Oaks, and it's great, but I just want to, yeah, I don't want to use it on here. So I've taken that out, and I can now probably remove GPS. So get another 5 bags of lime. 5, yeah. Just to keep the mods folder cleaner, I suppose. That's the plan anyway, just to try and minimize any potential issues. So GPS will go, we'll be using VCA. That's that topic done. So we've got, what, 1 and a bit passes left to do. So I'll finish this field. We will probably do the grass field because it hasn't germinated yet. And then we'll get on to do some seeding. So, been to the store, picked up the drill and filled it up with the fur and the seed. And I thought we'd come back a different way. There is, I think it's the flour mill, grain mill. But it's just, yeah, there's so much to see. And once we get back to the farm, we'll have a look at the map properly. But it feels like it feels like a massive map when it's, I say just normal size. But yeah, there's so many fields. I'm liking the fact that you can, there's set up some, there's blocks, if that makes sense. Like, we've got our little farm, we've got our block of land, everything's nice and close. I'm on the wrong side of the road. But yeah, and you can sort of, we can access a lot of our fields through our yard, which is handy. So yeah, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it so far. So I've looked at the crop calendar now, and then obviously looked at the Maize Plus feeding sheet that I've got. So we are going to put canola in our field 19, and then possibly wheat in field 20, which will give us 2 of the 4, slow down, feed bars once we've got that far. Now I think what we're going to do actually is run the risk of blocking the traffic for a second. Let them past. Could be here for some time. Go full speed ahead and reverse this into the field. Slightly unorthodox, but hey, there we go. So yeah, so the canola, that'll give us the protein slider, and then the wheat will give us the energy slider, plus straw for the bedding in the improvised animal shed. So we can turn Beacons off. Did I put the hazards on? No. And this is the moment of truth, whether we can pull this cedar. Fingers crossed we can. And fingers crossed we don't need too much more nitrogen, because it's pretty bad in the field. Let's turn it on, lower it down, and see how we get on. Failing that, we could be using the rest of our money to lease a more powerful tractor. Seems to be going alright. Just needs to find a decent gear. Okay, I'm pleased with that. That'll save us a bit of cash initially. Now, I do have another tractor in mind. No, it's not a Fent. Shock and awe. And if you're new here, you probably won't know that I'm a bit of a Fent fan. I had multiples of them throughout different Let's Plays. But yeah, at the minute, we haven't got one. I haven't got one in mind anyway, let's put it that way. There we go. Might struggle. It is actually a bit of a hill here. But doing alright actually, I'm surprised. So yeah, I've got another tractor in mind, we just need the funds for it. Like I said, we need to lease some mowers and baler, windrower, all that sort of good stuff to enable us to make silage off of our grass fields. And then what we'll look at is which ones we keep as grass and which ones we turn into an arable field, because ideally we would have a field every year that is growing one of the sliders for food, so we know that we're always going to have a supply of each food requirement. That's 30-something% wheel slip there, so not ideal. We may need to look at leasing another tractor before we even really got started. Well, as nice as the Massey is, and don't get me wrong, it's staying, it just has not got the guts to pull that big cedar. So we've leased a JCB. Now, one thing that Oxygendavid has done is we've actually got white number plates at the front, and there's about, in fact, let's just have a look. So let's pick any tractor and look at the plates. There are 20 different types of plate you can have. That is just awesome. Really is cool. So yes, we are going to use this. Yeah, we've maxed out the power. It is at no. Oh, we could have a look in the sales actually while we're here. Anything that will do us good. Not overly at the minute. Okay. Where are we going? Leased items, medium tractors, 230 horsepower, so more than enough for what we need. Get across into the field and we'll crack on. Now, the whole point of the crops that we're planting is to be self-sufficient. So my thought is to test my interpretation of the feeding of the pigs initially, before we have our own crops, is to purchase a couple for the improvised animal shed, and we will use the base game pig food from the store and the pig food that comes with Maize Plus, because I think the two combined will fill all 4 food categories. That's a bit of a mouthful. So my plan is we are going to finish this field ourselves. We are then going to set up in field number 20 and we'll run course play on that, putting the wheat in, and then we can have a play with trying to feed some pigs. So I'll get this done. And I'll see you when we're setting course play off in field 20. So, slight change of plan. We can't plant wheat until September. So, what we can do now is find ourselves the pig pen. Out the way, dear. And let's have a look at what we want to buy. So, enhanced animal system, we get so much more choice. And we can do males, or we can do females. We can get piglets. So, it holds 25. In order to breed piglets into fattening piglets, they must regularly supply with fresh feed, water, and straw. Okay. Pork is also known as fattening pigs, need to be fed well as they can develop into sows ready for slaughter. These pigs are fully grown and can be used for reproduction. I think for the purpose of the test, we're going to go for 5 female black-pied piglets. Yes. And we'll go for some Berkshire ones, I think. 5 again. Yes, please. So we've got 10. 10 little piglets. How cute are they? Oh, right. We should probably now attempt to feed them. So, how can we do this? Let's just have a look to see what we've got in the form of trailers. That might be a decent opportunity. I think we'll go with that one. We'll lease it for now. Yes. Now we'll head up, collect that, and then purchase some pig food. So down at the shop, we've leased a skid steer and some pallet forks, just so we can get stuff loaded up and then unloaded at t'other end. So we'll get 1,000 litres. So if we get 2 of those, 1,800 quid, and then we scroll down, we've got chicken, beet pellets, grain grist, horse food, mineral feed, pig food. So we'll get their 1,000 litres again. We'll get 2 of those, so it's balanced. Now, I think what else we're going to get is some straw, just so they can be as healthy as possible. And we'll start to get some manure, I think. So we'll buy 4 of those. How's that looking for a load? Right, I'll get this lot loaded up and I'll see you back down at the farm. So back at the farm, and full disclosure, that skid steer was about as much use as a chocolate fire guard. It wouldn't lift a big bag, so it's been returned, and for now we'll just have to make do with a bit of cheaty strength until we get ourselves to a point where we can afford a telehandler or a front loader or whatever. But yes, so first things first, let's get around this side. And that is the feed trough. Okay, right. So first one to go in is the Duiker food that comes with Maize Plus. So we'll put a little bit of that in. And we will check now in the animal menu. So that has done 1 and 4. Okay. So now, if we get the other pig food, and this is where hopefully my understanding of reading the XML in the animal food edition. Just leave that at that. And check again. Oh, get in. Okay, brilliant. So, Mace Plus Duiker Food does 1 and 4, and Base Game Pig Food does 2 and 3. Super. So now what we can do is we'll just put the rest in there, get that loaded up, and then we'll get some straw in and we'll see how they're looking then. So all the food is in the trough. They've just got just under 400 litres. Now I can't remember whether or not these take bales, and oh, might be up. There we go. It does. Of course it does. Somebody does a good job with their mods. So how much is that? Oh, okay, brilliant. So what we'll do is we'll get another bale, and that will fill up with the straw. And then I think we're about done for the day. So we need to wait till September to drill the wheat. That's fine. We can occupy ourselves with some grass work possibly next time. There we go. That's all full. We can leave that there. Shut the gate. Shut the gate. There we go. And this is the start of our pig empire. 12 litres of slurry already. And their health will now start to rise as we move through time. So I think that is where we're going to call it for today. If you're new here, welcome. Think about liking, subscribing to the channel. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.